Let's talk about the switch nodes. We have two nodes in the switch category. That's the yes and no switch and the normal switch. Like always, jump to a fresh scene and change it to our logic view. You can find the switch nodes under the toolbox in the category world, and down here you have the switch node. If we right click, we can see we have two nodes under the switch category, right? So let's start with the yes no switch. So if we put that here in the hierarchy, and when we check here, we simply have one property, actually two, but the blocked is the default. So we simply have the yes and no. It's simply a Boolean switch which decides which of these two outputs are active, right? So if it's red, then it's true. If it's gray, then it's false, right? So, and here you can bind whatever logical node you need in your scene. So let's do that quickly. Let's put here, or let's demonstrate that. Let's use a cube here and whatever. Let's rotate it a bit and let's copy that with Control left, and let's put here a torus maybe. And if we check yes now, then he will only show the yes output, and if we uncheck yes, then he will show us the no output, right? So that's a very simple switch. The next switch what we have, let me delete this. The next switch what we have is a normal switch. Let's call it just a switch. If you drag and drop it, Ventuz will ask you, hey, how many cases you want to have or outputs you want to have. Let's keep it by 2 for now. So you can always append cases here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you also can remove cases, right? So with that simple switch or normal switch, you can add as many cases as you want. And if we check here the properties, then we also have the default blocked state. We have the case property and we have the rep and a set property. So let's go through that. Let's simply put here an axis and let's put here a text. Let's use it block text and we call that case 0. We copy that, control left click. We call this guy case 1. And we copy it once more and we call this guy case 2. Okay, and if we go now here to our switch and we change here the case from 0 to 1 to 2 and so on. And as you can see, because by default that rep is on, so that means however many cases you have, whatever number you put in here, Ventuz will simply rep through that cases, right? So another thing, what we also have here, we have here our set, and with that set, you basically can send arguments, and depending on what number the argument is, um, the case switch will jump directly to that case. Okay, so let me show that. You use event, simple event here, and bind that event to the set. And here you can see in the event node you have the argument. So if we press now invoke, then you see our case switch is jumping to case 1 because we send the argument 1. If we put here the argument 2 and we press invoke, then our case switch will jump here to case 2. And of course with 0 it will work as well. Argument 0, we invoke the event and our case switch will jump to case 0.